We'll do a target later.
Okay.
Locked and loaded and barely old enough to tie their shoes.
Once they can learn, listen, follow the directions, then they're ready to be taught the gun.
Plus, Indiana Jones would be envious. Bones unearthed on the First Coast could hold the key to the first settlers. And shot in his own home. A man walks in while thieves are inside. First Coast News starts now.
And that's our top story tonight at 11. A man comes home this afternoon to find 2 burglars inside, and that man was then shot to death. Tonight, his killers are still on the loose.
So please take a very close look at this video right here. This is from a neighbor's camera showing a car matching the description of the vehicle police are looking for, a black 2010 Ford Escape.
This all happened in the Saddlewood subdivision that's over on Jacksonville's north side.
And First Coast News' Stephen Dial is live in that neighborhood tonight. And Stephen, we just learned the name of the victim.
We did. He's 50-year-old Kyle Simpson. JSO releasing that late tonight. And we have also learned late tonight that Duval County School Police were here on the scene. That's important because when we were addressed earlier this afternoon, they said that the suspects could be students. We talked to people in this community and they say right now they're on edge.
I couldn't believe it. I was sitting in my kitchen doing my income tax. And I heard, bing, 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 bing.
It's a brazen crime that investigators say has happened 2 days in a row. 2 suspects breaking into homes near First Coast High School. This time, the homeowner walked in on it happening.
That poor guy, he comes home from work and he gets shot in his own home. That's just terrible.
Linda Kinker lives in the Saddlewood neighborhood where a 50-year-old man was shot and killed. Investigators say 2 suspects got away.
It's really becoming very alarming to me.
Kinker's home surveillance video captured the moments the same model vehicle entered and left the neighborhood. It's a black 2010 Ford Escape. The timestamp on her video was an hour off because it wasn't changed during daylight saving time.
It appears that these individuals have committed multiple burglaries and thefts this afternoon, starting this morning, and possibly one yesterday as well.
Kinker says her neighborhood is quiet. They've had a few car thefts, but that's it. Her neighborhood installed cameras that takes pictures of every car tag that enters. She's confident the suspects will be caught, but she says she will live in fear knowing that it could happen again.
I will be for a long time because I've never experienced anything like this before. And I don't wish it on anyone. And I feel very bad for the family. It's terrible.
Again, investigators say they are looking for the drivers of a 2010 black Ford Escape. There are 2 suspects. If you have any information, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers. Reporting from the north side, Stephen Dial, First Coast News.
The man whose gun was allegedly used in a shooting that killed a 5-year-old girl is in jail tonight. A judge set Maurice Mobley's bond at $200,000. He's a registered sex offender and has multiple arrests over the past 16 years, and police say he brought a gun inside his girlfriend's apartment at Roosevelt Gardens over the weekend. They say an 8-year-old boy used that gun and accidentally shot and killed his little sister that you see there, 5-year-old Serenity Allen. A 4-year-old was also injured in that shooting.
And this recent shooting has reignited a conversation about kids and guns, an issue that is hotly debated. Do you teach your child not to touch guns, or do you teach them everything there is to know about guns? One local dad taught his son how to shoot at 3 years old. Shelby Danielson tonight takes a look at one method some say is the answer to accidental shootings involving children.
There are dozens of philosophies on the best way to prevent gun violence. Today we're exploring just one of them. Here at Jacksonville Clay Target Sports, about 50 children learn how to properly shoot a gun every day, many of them just 5 years old.
You ready?
Yep. It wasn't long after his son learned to walk when Tony Knight handed him his first gun. Now 9 years old, Tony Knight Jr. is still taking lessons from his dad.
I wanted to teach him gun safety because there's guns everywhere.
Tony Jr. learned how to fire a gun when he was 3 years old. If you ask him about it, you'll see though it's not all fun and games, he gets it, the danger it poses.
People may use them wrong, and I think that's wrong. People should use them for like hunting, shooting targets, and other stuff, but not harming people.
In fact, knowing the risk is the reason they do this in the first place.
Dad taught me it hurts people.
And the risk doesn't just exist out here in the open.
If I see a gun in my house, I'm supposed to leave it alone until my parents. And if they're not home, just leave it alone.
Knight says he knew his son was ready at a young age because he proved he was responsible and careful.
Once they can learn, listen, follow the directions, then they're ready to be taught the gun.
According to the Gun Violence Archive, at what age are kids at the most risk for accidental shootings? The answer, 3 years old.
Well, my dad taught me when I was 7 years old.
When you enter this gun range, there are a few constants you'll see: shell casings, trucks, and safety officer Larry Freeman.
We're open to the public. We get a lot of new people that really need help.
He perhaps is the biggest believer in this hands-on method to keep kids safe.
You get rid of the mystique of the gun. Now they know what it can do. They've seen what it can do. They've been taught what it can do. And then they'll come and tell a parent if they find one.
He says here and in his own family, they take that mystery out and replace it with knowledge.
Kids are kids and they're going to be curious. They weren't curious anymore.
In North Jacksonville, Shelby Danielson, First Coast News.
And again, this is just one of many ways to address gun safety. A lot of families have varying ideas on this topic. So what do you think? You can join in on the conversation on our Facebook page. Just look for this story.
4 years. That's how long repeat drunk driver Christopher Briza will spend in prison. He was sentenced today for running over 2 teenage boys as they pushed their mother's disabled car to the side of the road. Up until that crash, Briza still had a valid driver's license despite 3 prior DUI convictions. Frederick, a 10th grader, was trapped under Briza's car and had to have his right leg amputated. His brother Jason suffered a severed artery and remains on crutches 2 years later. And today after court, he showed us his scars and said he was not happy with this sentence.
If I'm going to be messed up for the rest of my life and it's going to get worse, you should have something that's going to go on for like the rest of your life and might get worse, because that's not really fair to me or my family.
And the boy's mother told the judge that the accident cost her boys their athletic dreams. She also said she couldn't believe Briza, who was nearly twice the legal limit, did not apologize.
New tonight, more options are coming to the Jacksonville airport. Starting this summer, JIA will begin offering daily nonstop flights to Toronto, Canada. As it stands right now, you can only fly to Toronto on the weekends. This new service scheduled to start on June 14th.
Well, it's been 4 years since a gambling ring investigation brought down a controversial organization worth $300 million. Dozens were arrested in 2013 for being connected to allied veterans of the world, including some prominent figures right here in Jacksonville who were linked to the multi-million-dollar scheme. Tonight, First Coast News investigative reporter Julia Janae takes a closer look at who ended up with that jackpot. Julia.
Anthony, 57 people were arrested and hundreds of items confiscated by law enforcement in what's been called the largest gambling bust in Florida. We followed the money trail worth millions.
Those inside the organization called it a profitable business model. State prosecutors say it was an illegal scheme pretending to be a charity for veterans. What we know is that allied veterans of the world generated $300 million in profit and would be brought down very publicly by law enforcement for breaking gambling laws.
You call it gambling, we call it internet cafe.
Defense attorney Curtis Fallgetter represented the president of Allied's management group, Johnny Duncan.
The actual prosecution attempted to suggest that it was a charity and that people were being cheated. It was never operated as a charity. It was operated as a game room.
A game room with internet sweepstakes-style entertainment with 50 locations across Florida. 2 were located in Seminole County, and all 50 would be shut down by Seminole County authorities on March 8, 2013.
All of a sudden, about 4 or 5 officers rushed into my office and said, "Put the phone down and back up from your desk."
Kelly Mathis, the attorney for Allied and a former Jacksonville Bar Association president, was one of 57 arrested that day.
They seized my server, they seized my cell phone, my iPad.
And a lot more from others arrested.
Bank accounts, houses, cars, planes,
Court documents show over 442 items impounded or frozen, including 313 bank accounts, 129 properties, 6 boats, 3 Porsches, and a new model Maserati.
I couldn't pay my bills. We had to let everybody go, basically, because we couldn't afford to pay them. That took quite some time to get the firm account unseized.
When you say quite a bit amount of time, how much time? Days, months?
Oh, no, it was well over a year.
Mathis's criminal case was the only one that went to trial. A Seminole County jury convicted him on 103 gambling-related charges in 2013. That conviction was thrown out on appeal, but the state has vowed to retry him.
Most of those other 56 suspects accepted plea agreements and received no jail time, but many of them had to forfeit over a portion of their assets to the Attorney General's office and the Sheriff's office. Those settlements ranged from $75,000 to $10 million.
There's nothing illegal about any of it. It is beneficial to law enforcement agencies because it augments their budget.
Mark Bachman, a DEA veteran and crime analyst for First Coast News, says the Florida Contraband Act limits what police agencies can keep.
A percentage of those seized funds have to go towards, in some instances, drug awareness, drug education. The agencies all have different reasons as to what they do with the monies.
We've asked the Seminole County Sheriff how forfeited assets are spent, but the current sheriff declined an interview with us, saying some of the cases are still active. But according to the court's docket, all of the civil forfeiture cases we asked about are marked closed.
It's kind of like the line of The Godfather. They made us a deal we couldn't refuse.
Duncan agreed to turn over 25% of his $7 million in assets. His wife and sons had also been arrested.
When they give him no contest, withhold, time served, and drop his wife and the 2 boys, how do you say no to that if you're a loyal father and husband, which he is?
Mathis says he was the only one that didn't settle.
Wanted to stand up for what was right. The cost of doing so is a lot more than I thought it would be. At this point, I've lost 4 years of salary and wages. It's, did end my marriage.
And he still questions the motives behind it all.
There are internet cafes, I hear, operating all over the state. So, what does that resolve? I don't know.
Now, before Allied was disbanded, it's undisputed that it did donate several million to veteran organizations, including a veteran shelter in downtown Jacksonville, though prosecutors argued it was a small percentage of the multi-million-dollar profit. Now, as for that money seized by authorities in Seminole County, we are still waiting to learn if the funds were recorded and how they were used. Guys, back to you.
Very interesting, Julia, to see how that all unfolded. Thank you for that report. Well, if you have a laptop, you're going to want to listen to this next story. There was a family, and they were in for quite a surprise. We're going to talk about the reason that their laptop explodes. You see it happen right there, and how you can prevent that from happening to you.
A story you won't want to miss, plus a groundbreaking discovery here on the First Coast. The stories behind the skeletons found underneath this St. Augustine business.
Through this evening, most of the stormy weather over the last 24 hours has been out west, but that energy is going to spread eastward combined with the heat, and thunderstorms will begin to erupt. We'll take a closer look.
An incredible discovery unearthed in St. Augustine, the nation's oldest city.
Yeah, under that floor that you see next to a popular restaurant, archaeologists believe they have uncovered the skeletons of the first colonists. Our Jessica Clark has this exclusive story for us tonight.
Well, this used to be a wine shop in St. Augustine, just recently closed down. The owner of the building says there was water damage because of Hurricane Matthew, so we wanted to dig up the floors. But walk with me here, because this place is now turned into an archaeological site. When the floors came up, the owner of the building, David White, gave the city archaeologist basically an offer he couldn't refuse, and that was to go down deep into the floor and into the soil underneath, and look what they found. This is a human skeleton. You can see the skull, the teeth, even some of the rib bones here. They found another one right here. This is the skull of another human. These are believed to be dated between 1572 and 1586. Now, if you remember, St. Augustine was founded in 1565. Again, these are dating around 1572 to 1586. What that means is these are some of the oldest believed to be European people buried in St. Augustine. What this also means is that these could be some of the first settlers of St. Augustine, which then turned into the first city of the United States, or the oldest city of the United States, pardon me. But there's even more interesting information because 2 more skeletons were discovered just outside. All of this means that, according to the archaeologists here in the city, they may have found the people who were buried underneath the church of Los Remedios, which is one of the first churches in St. Augustine. This is grand news, not just for St. Augustine, but also for Florida and the United States. In St. Augustine, Jessica Clark, First Coast News.
Wow. So to hear more about this discovery and what archaeologists plan to do next, you can go to our website, firstcoastnews.com.
An incredible discovery. Well, now to that warning tonight about lithium-ion batteries, which power your cell phones, laptop computers, even some cars. Look at this video right here. This is a laptop you're about to see catching fire in Southern California. Not once, not twice, but 4 times. This fire started with the Dell laptop's lithium-ion battery. That's the same type of battery that's been recalled for causing fires in those hoverboards, as well as Samsung Galaxy smartphones. Computer experts, though, say explosions like this are rare.
The fact that they have it on a couch meant that it couldn't dissipate heat, but really it means that all the protection that should be in there, it wasn't working.
Okay, so this is interesting. These are some steps that you can take to prevent lithium-ion batteries in your computer from catching fire. First, they say charge your device on a hard surface. Don't overcharge your devices, and don't leave your laptop plugged in overnight.
Well, there's going to be another option here on the First Coast if you're looking for some fun. Main Event Entertainment is opening in Jacksonville tomorrow. It will be located off Phillips Highway. Now, this is going to be located where Latitude 360 once operated. Main Event will offer everything from bowling to laser tag to billiards. A ribbon cutting will be held tomorrow from noon until 2.
Okay, looking forward to the weekend. If you're looking for something fun to do, the Donna is this weekend.
Absolutely, Friday and
Ready.
Saturday. So as a reminder, it's 26.2. We all know about that, the marathon, but there's also the half marathon. Hesitate to say half. It's 13 miles.
That's
a long
lot.
way. But there's also a mile fun run, 5K and 10K, and that's on Saturday.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, there's also the relay, and you're part of the relay.
I know somebody's going to be running.
About that.
I'm a little nervous.
Save that energy. Stay hydrated. And I'll tell you right now, folks, the weather is looking great for however you want to contribute to helping us all finish it this weekend. We'll talk more about that in a bit. What about between now and the weekend? Well, a pretty significant front is on the way. Computer models indicate showers and thunderstorms, note late Tuesday, primarily out over the Florida Panhandle through Alabama up to about Atlanta, making it in towards some of us, especially northwest of Jacksonville late tomorrow, and then weakening as it drops in before another round develops. And that's what's probably going to happen. We're going to have several rounds of showers, maybe a thunderstorm here or there between late Tuesday through Wednesday and even Thursday. Until this front actually pushes on through, we'll have some rounds of showers and thunderstorms, but let's take it a day at a time. On a Tuesday, we'll make it up to 80 in Duval, even the beaches before they receive the sea breeze. Any isolated showers that form on Tuesday, I think, in Duval will be after 6 p.m. Like we showed you on the map, for those of you farther off to the northwest, though, on Tuesday afternoon, you could see, in fact, probably will see some showers, maybe a thunderstorm as early as 4 o'clock. On the other side, though, that is south of Duval, St. John's, Flagler, Clay, Putnam, I think it'll be dry all day on Tuesday and maybe even through the evening hours with highs in the lower 80s. The beaches will also get in on the act. They were certainly the coldest ones on Saturday, if not at least the chilliest ones, but on Tuesday, highs of 77 degrees at least before the sea breeze does kick in. Thunderstorms maybe up toward the Golden Isles, and I think that'll be after about sunset. Now, that's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, a warm and humid day, scattered showers and thunderstorms possible during the afternoon. On Thursday, the chill is coming, but I don't think that will arrive until later in the day. The greatest chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm on Thursday, will be early in the day. Friday looks to be the big chill down, but then comes the weekend. Remember, everything downtown is at the Expo on Saturday, and looks good for running, walking, and supporting. And then, of course, on Sunday, everything is out toward the course. We'll keep you updated as we go through the week.
From the Farrah and Farrah Sports Desk, It's First Coast Sports.
Hello, everybody. With the prep basketball regular season in the books, district play on the boys' side tipped off tonight. And Director Jack, let's roll those highlights. Let's get straight to it, my friends. The winner of this game, will play the Gateway Conference champion Reebok Trojans. I'm talking about Bishop Kenny and Stanton Nick Neist with the miss. He takes it back up strong. Neist had 4 points for the boys in blue early on. The other end, Gabe Moret finds Adam Bowenschultz, who with a quick lay-in, and the game is tied. We know the Crusaders team is good. They got over 20 wins in the season, and that guy's a big reason why getting it done in the paint. Bishop Kenny would win big, 72-29 over Stanton. How about Yulee taking on Paxson? And it was a tight one in the first half. Babs, deep ball, G-double-O-D, good. Hornets jump out in front. Paxson would get things under control. They would get Isaiah Adams in from long range. Then a quick rebound here in just a second. How about a Hail Mary pass? Adams to Strong to the rack right there. Paxson were going to win this game 69-64. Range taking on West Nassau out at Fernandina Beach High School. Kamari Noble, where is he? Whoop, there he is. You do you while I do three, bang. The Vikings had a double-digit lead at the half. Later on, one, Westbury under the hoop, going up glass, off the glass, that is for two. Reigns will have no problem tonight as they were going to win 73-39. They'll take on Bowles on Wednesday. Tony Baselli, where is he? He was in the house as Episcopal took on Fernandina Beach. Eagles working around to Marcus Brooks. Jumpers just like Maxwell House Coffee, good to the last drop. Quick hands by the Pirates here. Don't believe me, just watch. Joey Harris, splash. They respond with the big three. Jack Hammer. Yes, this guy's name is Jack Hammer from downtown. Release, rotation, splash. The Pirates are going to win tonight 48-24. The 49ers officially landed their new coach as expected. They hired Falcons offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan a day after the Falcons dropped a heartbreaker to the Patriots in Super Bowl 51. Shanahan served as the Falcons' OC for the past 2 seasons. I don't care what you say or who you were rooting for last night, but Tom Brady and the Patriots did what they did in Super Bowl 51 is simply amazing. And by now, you know they rallied in overtime after being down by 25 points. And if you believe Tom Brady's play was motivated by what happened with this Deflategate, his coach says you're wrong.
And to insinuate that this year was somehow different, that this year he competed harder or did anything, to a higher degree than he ever has in the past, I think is insulting to the tremendous effort and leadership and competitiveness that he's shown, for the 17 years that I've coached him. It's been like that